Hello everyone. Today our group is delighted to present our topic emotional thinking for the course. So let's dive into the fascinating world of how emotions shape our thinking. To give you a roadmap, our presentation will cover 9 key sessions, starting with an introduction, then exploring origins and background, characteristics, process, roles in life, advantages and weaknesses, and challenges. The balance of emotional and regional thinking, application in advertising and marketing, and finally, our conclusion.
Hello everyone. Today I want to share some things we all use every day. Emotional thinking. Emotional thinking means we make choices based on our feeling. Every day, our emotions guide how we look at things, how we judge things, and how we act. For example, when we feel fear, we stay away from danger. When we feel happy, we smile more, talk more, and feel more open. When we feel sad, we move slower and think less clearly. When we feel angry, we make react too fast or say things we don't mean. Emotions also help us understand other people. They help us show care, build friendship, and stay creative. Feeling can push us to try new things or work hard when something is important to us. But strong emotion can also make things difficult. When we are so angry, so happy, and so square, it's become hard to think clearly. That is why we also need rational thinking. Rational thinking uses fact, logic, and careful steps. Emotional thinking uses feeling and institution. The best way to make good discussion is to use both. Our heart to understand feeling and our mind to stay clear. Together, they help us see the whole picture. People started learning about emotion many years ago. They want to know why we feel different things. Aristotle said feeling can help us do the right things. Dictator said strong feeling can make our thinking not clear. Freud said some feelings stay inside our mind and can change what we do. Later, other people made very simple idea about emotion. James linger the body react first, then we feel the emotion. Cannot brand the body and the feeling happen at the same time. Shutter singer emotion come from the body and our throat together. Later, Daniel Goleman talked about emotional intelligence. He said people with good emotion intelligence can understand feeling better. This helps them make good choices and work well with others. Today, we believe feeling and clear thinking should work together. We need both to make good discussion.
Hi everyone. Today I will be talking about emotional thinking and its main characteristic. Emotional thinking means we use our feelings to understand and respond to situations. It is different from logical thinking, which uses fact and analysis. Emotional thinking is more about intuition, personal experience, and how we feel in the moment. One key characteristic is that emotional thinking is very fast. It happens almost instantly. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman calls that sisters one thinking, quick, automatical and emo-driven. For example, when we hear a loud noise, we feel scared before we even know what happened. This quick reaction comes from the amygdala, a part of the brain that helps us respond to danger. This shows that emotional thinking can help us survive because it lets us reaction quickly. Another important characteristic is that emotional thinking is subjective. Different people can see the same situation very differently because their emotions are different. For example, a confident student may see a different exam as a challenge, while an anxious student may see it as a threat. This makes emotion thinking rich and personal, but it also means it can be best or inaccurate when emotions are too strong. Emotional thinking is also influenced by the social environment. Emotions can spread from one person to another. This is called emotional contagion. For example, if a classroom is full of positive energy, students feel more motivated. But if many people feel stressed or negative, others may quickly from feeling the same way. This shows that emotional thinking is not only personal, it's also spread by people around us. Even though emotional thinking sometimes causes problems, it also has many positive sides. It helps us develop empathy so we can understand other people's feelings. It also encourages creativity because many artists and writers get inspiration from their emotions. Emotional thinking also gets more decisions. Emotions like kindness and compassion help us making care choices. Positive feelings such as hope and person can motivate us to keep going and overcome challenges. However, emotional thinking can be harmful when strong emotions are not controlled. For example, anger or fear can make us act impulsively. Sometimes people rely on emotional reasoning, believe something is true just because it feels true, and this can lead to misunderstandings or misinformation. In conclusion, emotional thinking is fast, subjective, influenced by others. They can be both helpful and harmful. If we understand our emotions and measure they will, we can make better decisions and building healthy relationship. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Fan. Today I'm going to talk about the process of emotional thinking and how it influences the way we react in everyday situations. Understanding this process can help us manage our emotions better and make wiser decisions. The model we are using has 4 stages: stimulus, emotional reaction, evaluation, and action. Let's go through each step. The first stage is stimulus. A stimulus is anything that triggers an emotional response. It can be something internal like what people say to us, or something internal, such as a memory or expectation. For example, imagine your teacher suddenly criticizes your homework in front of the class. At that moment, the criticism becomes the stimulus. Your brain detects it instantly, even before you have time to think. The second stage is emotional reaction. This is when your brain especially is produce an immediate emotional response, and this reaction happens very fast, often automatically. You might feel embarrassed, angry, or upset. Your heart rate may increase, your face might turn red, or you may feel tightness in your chest. This is the feeling first stage. It's emotional or not logical, and all of us experience this instantly whether we want to or not. The third stage is evaluation, and this is where our thinking finally comes in. The prefrontal context, our rational brain, start to ask questions. Why did the teacher say that? It is a criticism meant to embarrass me, or it is meant to help me. Was I really not paying attention? This stage allows us to slow down and analyze the situation. We try to understand the meaning behind the stimulus, and we judge whether our emotional reaction is appropriate. This is a moment where we choose whether to escalate the emotion, change it, or calm ourselves down. Finally, we reach the action stage. Based on your evaluation, you decide what to do next. You might choose to argue, bite, remain silent, walk away, or respond calmly. But if you process your emotions well, your action becomes more constructive. More, for example, after thinking things through, you may decide, I will improve my homework next time, or I should talk to the teachers after class. This stage shows the combination of emotion and reasoning. It is where emotional intelligence becomes reasonable. To sum up, emotional thinking is not just about feelings. It is a four-step journey: stimulus, emotional reaction, evaluation, action. If we can pause and evaluate before acting, we give ourselves the chance to choose responses that are healthier, wiser, or more effective. Understanding this process does not remove emotions, but it helps us manage them instead of letting them control us. Thank you.
Now I'm going to talk about the role of emotional thinking in life. Emotional thinking reflects across multi dimensions of human experience. It influences how people form relationship, how to teach and learn, and how leaders manage organization, how artists express themselves, and how medical professionals provide cares. And so now, first one, interpersonal relationship. It allows individual to perceive the emotion case like tongue, gesture, and facial experience that cannot be conversed through word alone. By organization, the signature, people can respond the empathy and the compression rather than cold logic. Empathy enable inter-understanding, while trust strengthens long-term bond. Research suggests that individual with higher emotional awareness experience greater relationship satisfaction because it can navigate the conflict constructively. Emotional thinking therefore promotes corruption and forgiveness and connections far from beginning eruption or and respond to multi and intelligence way of relating to others and to get the deeper emotional level. Next one is in education. Education involves the more than transfer of information. It also an emotional process. Emotional thinking help teacher and student from meaningful connected to support learning. Will student feel respect, valued, and emotional secure? That's more motivate to engage actively in class. Positive emotions such as curiosity and interest improve attention and memories. The navigate emotions like anxiety and like to block comprehension and concept of social emotional learning, highlight how emotions shape the learning environment. Young and Thomason argue that emotions are in spirit. They thought we feel, therefore we learn. This work showed the learning became deeper when it's emotional engaged. Emotional think this transfer classroom into space where knowledge is understand not only intelligence but also emotionally. Next one is leadership and organizations. They describe emotional intelligence as the ability to
recognize, understand, and regret one or emotion, while responsible to others. Leader who think emotion can sense the mood of the teams, offer empathy during difficult time, and to correct atmosphere of psychological. This emotional awareness promotes trust and motivation among the emphases. Overall, the emotional think support like to how to make decision and encourage leader to consider the human consequence of the choice. Okay. It's gonna be like to leadership is essential for build inclusive workplace that values professional and well-being. Okay, next one is art and creativity. Art is the direct expression of emotion thinking. Through music, painting, or performers, artists transfer inner emotional into real form and to share human experience. Emotional things stimulate imagination and lead to organized and meaningful creation. That emphasis the competitive often rise from emotional sensitive and the capacity the feel deeper and express truly, while the audience engaged art that experience emotional vibe. Connect with the artist, reflect on their own feeling. In a way, art show how emotional think bridge individual experience and collect understanding, reveal the emotion core of human activity. Finally is medical and mental health. In healthcare, the emotional thing is the keystone of compassionate. Doctor who engage emotional with patient can interrupt slightly case than to extend behind word, like eye contact or tone of facial experience. A real example described vividly. A high school friend of mine suffered from depression and she don't want to talk about anything or eye contact during that trade maybe a month ago. Use emphasis rather than pressure to build understand over about 6 months constant. She want to gradually change audience. She began to respond and with smile or eventually start to share personal through and favorite book. This transformation relieved how emotion understand and build trust, restore communication and promote healing. Emotional things that guard a bridge between professional knowledge and human compassion. Enable more effective psychological support. Emotional think profound sharp human life and training emotion awareness is therefore not sign of weakness but a mark of wisdom. It allows individual to live meaningful and connect more deeper, make the choice guide both heart and mind.
Hello everyone, today I want to talk about adjust of thinking means using or feeling to understand people and situation. First, emotion think help us connect with others. When we understand our own feeling, we can communicate better. When people feel understand, they trust us more. This makes friendship and teamwork stronger. The second, emotion think help us be creative. Many new ideas come from feeling like questioning emotion or even fresh. When we care about some things, we try harder and think of new solutions. This is helpful in school, work, and everyday life. Emotion think helps a good leader understand how people feel. This helps the leader solution problem, support the team, and create a positive environment. When a leader cares about the team, people feel safe and work better together. Lastly, emotion think help us make kind and fair decision. Sometimes solution is not enough. We also need we, we also need to think about our decision affect other people. Emotion help us be more caring and be responsible. In short, emotion thinking help us communicate, be creative, become better leaders, and make more creative decisions. Even though emotion thinking has many good ideas, good scientists it also has some weakness. First, emotion thinking can make us busy. When we read too much on feeling, we may not see to station care. We may only look at things that match of emotion and single all other important information. The second, stronger emotion can affect our judgment. When we feel angry, sad, or strange, it is harder to think clear. We meet or eat or misunderstand other people. This can cause adjustment and problem in communication. This rule, emotion thing is not also helpful to practice work, such as science or financial. This job is needed to clear execution and fantasy. Its emotions influence decision too much. The responsible may not be accurate. Emotion thinking can also cause a problem in relationship. Sometimes people make choices beside unfair, guilty or pressure. Even they don't mean to hurt others, strong emotion can still lead to emotion thinking. In summer, emotion thinking can cause space. Emotion dissipation can unclear judgment and leads to clarity in service work. This is why we need to understand and control our emotion. Now let's talk about the challenge of emotion thinking today and how we can balance emotion and relation thinking. One challenge is technology. People now use the phone and computers all the time. Online messages are fast, but they do not show really feeling very well. Sometimes people message each other because they cannot see face or hear down to wins. Another challenge is culture. People from different countries show emotion in different ways. For example, some cultures smell a lot, some not. Some make eyes cannot, some advance it. This can make it harder to understand each other's feeling. College is teach many schools focus on math, science, and exam. They teach language, but they do not teach emotion skill. So many people grow up not knowing how to experience or connect their feeling. So how do we balance emotion and relation thinking? The first, we need emotion answer. This means knowing what we'll feel and why feel it. Second, we need emotion connect. It help us stay clear and think clear. When the emotion and reason think work together, we make better decisions. Those help us understand facts, and emotion help us understand people. With both, we can communication better and building better relationship. The last one, emotion thinker and reason thinker are both important. When we balance them, we become wiser and kinder.
I will start by talking about the importance of balancing emotional and rational thinking in decision making. In daily life, our behaviors and choices are not based purely on logic. They are heavily influenced by emotions as well. Therefore, being able to manage the interaction between emotion and rationality becomes a key factor that affects our judgment and outcomes. First, emotional awareness plays an essential role. It refers to ability to identify, understanding, and express not only our emotions, but also the emotion of others. When we are aware of our emotions, we are less likely to make impulsive or brash decisions. Emotional awareness also helps us strengthen self-control, improve interpersonal communication, and build physical resilience under stress. Second, emotion regulation is equally important. It doesn't mean suppressing or dying emotions. Instead, it means conscientiously managing them to stay calm and objective, especially in moments of conflict, setbacks, or difficult decisions. Effective emotion regulation helps us maintain a balance between emotional understanding and rational judgment. To explain how emotion and rationality interact, we can look at Kahneman's dual system thinking model. System-wise fast, automative, intuitive, and emotion-driven. It works well in familiar or urgent situations. System 2, on the other hand, is slow, logic, and analytical, is more stable for complex tasks that require deep reasoning. Next, I will introduce how emotion thinking is widely applied in advertising and marketing. Modern marketing doesn't only rely on regional perception or product features. Instead, it increasingly focuses on emotion strategies to shape consumer perception and behavior. The first application is emotion appeal. Brands deliberately evoke emotions such as happiness, nostalgia, fear, pride, or empathy to make advertisement or memorable. This helps strengthen emotion conception and enhance brand recall. Second, emotion triggers play a significant role in purchase decisions. Research shows that around 90% of purchase behavior is driven by subconscious emotion rather than logic. For example, excitement can simultaneously impulse buying, where fear is often used in health and insurance advertising. Third, storytelling. Emotional engagement allows brands to build emotion bonds through check-rate story and shared values. Narrative activity impacts with increases engagement and message retention. False emotion branding aims to build long-term feelings rather than short-term sales. Brands like Starbucks or Logo are successful not just because of their products, but because they create a sense of belonging, identity, or creativity. Digital and social media also amplify emotion marketing. Influencers short form video content and visual communication create authenticity and intimacy, engaging in emotional interaction rather than positive winning. Finally, emotion marketing also has cross-culture and ethical considerations. Emotional appeals must respect culture sensitivities, and brands should avoid manipulating negative emotion purely for consumer gain. Sustainable emotion marketing should be based on authenticity and respect.
To conclude, emotional thinking is powerful yet needs regulation. The best approach is balancing it with logical, as they are not opposites but partners in meaningful decision making. So thank you.